Hello, today I wanted to share with you an idea called vowel tense. This is an idea that I got from an Orton Gillingham training that I went to quite a few years ago. And it's one of those things that's super simple, but I never probably would have thought of on my own. Vowels can be the hardest part of reading because the way that we make vowel sounds in our mouth is a very slight difference between each vowel. For example, the difference between I, eh. There's not much happening different inside your mouth. You're just opening your mouth a little more. Your chin is dropping down. Same thing, the difference between ah. Very, very slight. So kids have a hard time sometimes holding on to that or making the correct vowel sound. So what we do is called a vowel drill. And I will make a vowel sound like I. And very simply, each student has all the vowels laid in front of them. I like to use different colored index cards, but you could do it all on white. It doesn't really matter, especially if you're just working one-on-one with the student. So I would say I, and the student just pinches it, picks it up, and says, I says I. U says ah. A says ah. And they have the letter written on their side as well. So I can see that they're picking the correct answer, and then they can see for themselves what the letter is that they need to choose. It's a really great, simple, quick drill to review vowel sounds. Once they are pretty confident in the vowel by itself, the next step is listening for that sound inside of a word. You would start with a small word that has the vowel sound at the front, so it's still easy to isolate. For example, I would say if, and then they know to just focus on the vowel sound. So I say if, they would still say I says I. If they're having a hard time making that transition, after I say if, they can do one of two things or both. Say it slowly, if. That isolates that vowel really clearly. You can hear that. All vowel sounds can be held out like that. Ah, okay, so that they can hear that. If I had the word up, U says okay. The next step then is putting it into a CVC word where the vowel is in the middle of two consonants, okay? This is the trickiest way of hearing that sound. So if I said the word sit, again, we're looking for I says I. They can isolate that sound to help them hear it by saying it slow, sit, and they stretched it out. Or they can tap out all of the sounds, focusing on listening for that vowel, s, I, t. What was the vowel sound I made? I says I. It's great to start with real words. That's going to make your student the most comfortable. But it's a really good idea to switch to nonsense words because that really tests their listening because it's a word they've never seen or heard before. So they have to actually recognize the vowel sound. So if I say zug, you says If I say mish, ish. Oh, I heard an I says I. This is a really simple, fast strategy. I wouldn't spend more than 5 minutes doing this unless they're super engaged. It's just a quick warm-up, sometimes to do before reading, to review the sounds that the vowels make before you start. You could also use this strategy for a lot of different things. And even if you don't have index cards, I just took some regular copy paper and folded it into thirds, and it stands up pretty well also. Okay, the standing up is kind of an important part. You could have it flat and they could push their answer forward, but it really adds that tactile experience. They're interacting with the sounds doing that. You could also do many other things like this. You could put shapes on here and you could either, depending on the level of your child, find the triangle, or find the shape that has 4 sides, find the shape that has no angles, things like that. You could write different words on there. You could make true false cards. There's a lot of things you could do with this strategy. So I thought it was pretty cool and I want to share it with you. Thanks.